Next is from Jimmy Lennon. Hey guys, I'm listening to your YouTube clip about Conan's time at the WrestleCade convention, whatever it was called. And Conan said, Eric Bischoff was there, but he didn't seem happy to see me. Conan, has everybody follow up on that? Have you had a falling out with Eric? And do you think it might be because K100 fans have no problem calling out his co-hosts out on being AEW shills, which may cause drama for him? I don't even know anything about this.
Yeah, I doubt.
And how would he know? How would he know these are
K100?
How would he know these are K100 fans calling, criticizing these guys online?
Right.
Yeah, I don't
know.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. No, but I sent him a tweet the other day about when he was water fasting. Now he's on the carnivore diet.
Right.
And he answered me. I just asked him now, what's better, the water diet or the carnivore diet? But I haven't checked to see if he answered.
Yeah, no, Eric's coming on for Christmas.
Okay.
This week. Yeah. So there you
go. Gary Hands submitted his public apology to Disco Inferno is deserved. Hey, Disco, you tell modern wrestlers they need to work safer. You hate everyone. Hey, Jim Cornette, you tell modern wrestlers they need to work safer. Thank you, Jim, for caring about the personal health of the talent. It's the way it is, right? Conan and Joe, K100 Cornette are the only wrestling podcasts I listen to anymore. Disco and Cornette have very similar, almost identical viewpoints on the business, yet Cornette gets the praise while Disco gets trashed by the IWC. Why do you think this is? For me, when you hear this latest news about Bryan Danielson's health issues, I think that Disco Inferno is owed a huge public apology from the no-profile photo wrestling community. I think they do too. And I would profess, anybody listening to this, if you address me on Twitter, it needs to be done with an apology first. Do you think that will get over well? Telling these haters that they need to apologize?
If you tweet that, I would love it.
Right. I'm going to put this YouTube clip. This makes a YouTube. I'll put the clip online and say, I'll be waiting everyone's apology.
That's great.
Next is Jared Aviat, who still has never apologized for. Oh, by the way, Liv Morgan got arrested for
weed. Yeah.
She looked pretty hot in her. I posted. You saw her mugshot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tweeted pretty hot, to be honest. Which it was. It was pretty hot mugshot, right? Of course. What was about 30% of the responses?
You creep.
Herbert.
Creep. Right. It's like, bro, it's literally creepy now to talk about how attractive a girl is that wrestles.
Well, for this generation, if you're like, if you're over 50, you can't say.
Right. Yeah. All right. Jerry Evans said, hey, the future Drew McIntyre, right? Hi, K100 fam. Hope all is well. So I want to ask about the future Drew McIntyre. I think Triple H has done a masterful job with the Drew character, with his evolution from a big-time babyface persona to this new heel persona, whilst not changing the core beliefs of the character. My question for the crew is, what else needs to be done to shake up the presentation of McIntyre? I think the angry Scott walking to the ring with a sword deal will get old pretty quick. Should he change up his look? Also, should Drew develop his own faction, perhaps with some guys from NXT? Also, there's a big rematch with Brock in the cards for Drew. Do you think Drew will continue to be a focal point in WWE for many months to come? Thank you. The best, Jared. I think for him to get some real heat, he should come out with that sword and chop somebody's head off. That would get over. It'd be a big spot. That was one of the first, when they did that in Game of Thrones, when the lead character on the show got beheaded at the end of season 1, you're like, I can't believe they just did that. Right. So I think that would get over huge if Drew did it too. What if he beheaded Punk? Just chopped his head off and Punk's head rolled on the floor and was bleeding all over the place. He bled out in the ring.
Yeah, okay, that's not happening. But I will say that Drew McIntyre, you asked a lot of questions there. The only one I remember is the one I'm going to answer. Is that, they're going to do stuff with him. I think he's very interesting. I did think he looks super lame, corny Mayor McCheese, JoJo, coming down with the sword named Angela. I know it's after his mom, but still, it's really? What are you going to do with that? You're going to impale somebody? And so, just ditch the sword. I don't see nothing wrong with wearing a kilt. He's a Scotsman. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think they're doing really interesting TV with him right now.
Yeah.
So, I do think he will be a focus for months to come.
Next is from Robert Bailey Jr., the subject is fake wrestlers. Came across some video making rounds, which I've attached below. Some marks discussing a 1994 CWA show where Doink the Clown wrestles an impersonator of Bret Hart in Germany.
We saw this already.
Huh? We've seen this?
We did this. I don't know if it's the same guy, but I'll show it to you, but we've done it already.
What is so interesting in this scenario is that from what I can tell, this is an OG Doink instead of a cosplay, and it's Franz Schumann doing his best Bret Hart. The guy had the physique, hair, and even moveset. And I'm sure in Mexico it's easier to do this with the mask, but this is a pretty Franz and the promoter to do this. With stories of RBD being told to act like Jean-Claude Van Damme early in his career because of the resemblance, and wrestlers like C.W. Anderson going with an Arn Anderson gimmick, or even Jim Ross bringing in the fake Razor and Diesel. My question is, before the internet, do you guys have any stories about impersonators or blatant ripoff gimmicks of some popular characters from the big time that actually worked and left you impressed? Not really, but I did work. Cornette didn't do a lot of indie wrestling, but I don't know if Mexico did this a lot. But bro, I must have wrestled on the indies for like 4 or 5 different Doinks that were different guys. It said all you needed for Doink to appear on the show was, and these are promoters running in front of 200 people in the South, like in Alabama, and they say Doink, like they're not going to get in trouble because nobody's going to take the time to bother, because they're not really drawing anything. But Doink was a mainstay in the Southern indie wrestling scene, and it was always a different guy that I wrestled. What about were there imposter gimmicks on indie shows in Mexico, Conan? Because you could do
a lot of imposter, like the clowns and stuff like that.
Right.
Guys that wore masks. You can't do it with a guy that doesn't wear a mask. I don't know how they got away with it with this Bret Hart thing, but
yeah, play a couple. It's only 42 seconds long. Go ahead and play this. I want to see what this is good. Well, they were in Austria, right? So maybe the promoter's thinking that the fans aren't smart enough to know the difference.
The guy kind of looks like Bret, but here.
Franz Schumann was a Austrian wrestler that spent most of his time wrestling, I want to say, in Germany. And for whatever reason, this Franz Schumann is wrestling dressed up completely as Bret the Hitman Hart. He's got Bret Hart style. Because I was watching it, I was like, what? I didn't realize Bret wrestled for the CWA in Germany at like this time period, wrestling Doink. And I'm like, hang on, this is amazing. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre that you have this, and this is during the mid-90s. Bret's with the WWF, and I guess there's just guys outside the WWF wrestling as Bret Hart.
All right, that's good.
I'm surprised WWE didn't try and find that guy and do some type of angle with him and Bret.
That's a good job, bro. He did. That was a good job.
He had like him. He did. Yeah. I was like, it's like exactly like Bret.
And I could be wrong, but did he say in the email about Doink? That may have been Doink.
No, it was Doink. Yeah, that was the original Doink against the Bret Hart.
Looked a lot like Matt Bourne. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. That's what the guy said. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Next is from JG, and the subject is: will AEW recover from losing its stars? Hey, K100 fam, hope all is well. My question for today are: will AEW recover from losing Cody, Jade, and now CM Punk? Also, my second question, more of an observation. It seems that AEW has gotten away from the original concept from its inception, and programming is just flat out. I've learned to look at it like this: if I don't pay close enough attention and just treat it as just another wrestling show, I hold no expectations. I used to get rather excited on Wednesdays, but now I'd rather watch Joe Schmo college basketball or random NHL games over Dynamite. And that's Happy Holidays, JG from Jersey. I didn't really think about this. If you're like Tony Khan and you got your talent roster like listed from top to bottom, that is significant losses at the top. Cody, Jade, and CM Punk.
Yeah.
Not to mention, who knows how long Omega's going to be out. It's not going to be long before Danielson's probably hurt. Well,
and this is the problem.
You just got to make new stars. In the short term, it hurts, of course. But if you're building stars for the long term, you'll be able to fill some of those holes in.
You could have easily had Wardlow higher on the card. You could have easily had Luchasaurus.
He should have already been ready.
Luchasaurus.
What happened to Luchasaurus?
He's just still walking out with Cage just standing there.
Kill shot.
Like,
right? Then they change his name.
Shot. It's like, I don't know. This is what happens when you don't build stars. When your stars leave, you don't have any stars, which is a problem that WWE had for years. They weren't building stars, and they had to have to bring guys back for WrestleManias.
Good point.
Well, here's something I didn't know. Luchasaurus with the name change, which you guys had already said in the past, like you would have done. He got sued for the name. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that.
No, for the mask. The likeness of the mask was like very similar to something else. Okay. So they had to change.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you guys wait to see. Did you get sued for the name or the mask? I thought it was the mask.
It says here, copyrighted design for their merchandise.
Yeah.
The mask belonged. Yeah, okay. They're saying the mask
Right.
was theirs. Okay.